Greetings, YouTube. We knew that this arena was going to be out of control. So much so that even though Hyperion is an older champion, given how unbelievably great he was designed, I don't know who designed him, but whoever did, shout out to the legend. This was before Kabam Broccoli's time, I believe, at Kabam. He is the perfect champion. He's got some immunity. He's got heavy stacks with fury stacks, with stun lock, with a little bit of regen. Though if you're a 6-star rank 4, your regen is a lot better than a little. That's my only minor complaint. Very first world problem complaint with Hyperion's design. Just could use a little bit better regen. But all in all, we knew the hype. Literally, pun intended, of course. Who do you think you're watching? The hype for this arena was all time. We thought, and even speculated in an arena preview video on Wednesday night, maybe this would break the arena record. And let me remind you of what the arena record is, for those of you who don't know. It is technically 172,213,416 set by Nimrod, who I didn't think was going to be nearly as hyped up of a champion. I still don't know if he is, as Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde's first round was 169,503,226. And then you look at champs like Stark Spidey, who went for 157 million in his second round. Maybe you're thinking about somebody like an Overseer or Purgatory, who went for 140 million. Spider-Man 2099 went for 145 million. Hercules, who is by far one of the highest hyped champions of the year, and for good reason, another 170 million. Hercules was the record before Nimrod. What we're about to see blows all of that out of the water, and it is from my good friend, longtime supporter, and sometimes crystal opening commentary submission summoner, Silent Threat. When he grinds the arena, he is a true silent threat. He spent over 60 hours grinding. Think about that for a second. 60 hours. No units because his roster is unbelievably massive. But he only got 4 hours of sleep a night. This is so stupid in terms of the amount of time. I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to him or anybody else, but I think even he would say this is dumb. This is ridiculous. This is not how you should spend 3 days of time. Particularly because there are a lot of people out there who can't do 60 hours in a grind even if they wanted to, even if they have the stamina to and the roster to, because you got to work or you got to go to school. You have kids, you have a spouse, you don't want to get divorced, whatever you want to say about it. You can't spend 60 hours in a 3-day period. But this guy did. He put up a massive 182,555,785 points, 182 million, and did not even crack the top 60. I repeat, 182 million points, did not crack the top 60. Shout out to some alliance mates of mine who had to put up close to 200 million points for the top 20. Kabam likes to say that they don't want people to spend their whole life in the game, but we know that's BS. Of course they want people to do that. If you drive up the scores, it drives up the amount of units that people have to spend. Sometimes that drives up how much money you make for buying said units. And even if you don't have to spend any units like Silent Threat, you're normalizing absurd behavior. You are saying, oh yeah, it's totally normal to spend 60 hours of a 3-day stretch playing a mobile game. Just what it takes for a 6-star. No big deal. It's the same reason why I cringe every time I hear somebody say, oh, clear that content, just throw a couple Odins at it. As if you're talking about pennies, but in reality it's hundreds of dollars, especially with tax and depending on your currency exchange rate of the country you live in. So, I thought 120 million back in the day was stupid crazy and still do for a cutoff. But this is not 120 million. This is over 170 million. And I would imagine that this cutoff is going to beat the Nimrod cutoff because the top 35, I can't imagine dropping 10 million. Maybe I'll be wrong. But my guess is 172,213,416 will be beat from Nimrod. And this is just driving everything up with inflation and making me scratch my head. It's historic. And look, Hyperion is a proven champion. This isn't like somebody who, like Annie Venom and Noel, our very own Dork Lessons has done a great job of showing champion previews, but maybe when the average summoner gets their hands on them, they might think, pretty good, but not game-changing. Hyperion is game-changing. We've seen that. And so we knew the value. And it's not like, God willing, Hyperion's going to suddenly be nerfed in a couple months. His value has proven over time, and Kabam hasn't touched him. And that power gain is reflective of the inflation gain of the score. But I still just have to scratch my head. Again, we're normalizing abnormal, unhealthy behavior by talking casually about 180 million points in the arena. And personally, as somebody who can't imagine doing that grind, I just feel like it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy, and I would say it's unsustainable, but clearly that's not true because the scores keep going up. And as people get more rank 4 6 stars, the scores are only going to go up. So, I don't know what to tell you, YouTube. Do you think that we're going to see 200 million as the cutoff before the end of the year? Let me know in the comments, and thanks again to Silent Threat for sending this data. I'm shaking my head. Just crazy, crazy scores.